Welcome back to our channel. Can these coins make you a millionaire? The truth behind rare finds. The year 1970 marks an intriguing moment in the history of American coinage, specifically when it comes to the 1-cent penny. The 1970 penny, a coin most people would pass by without a second thought, carries with it a tale of numismatic significance and unexpected rarity that has made it one of the most sought-after coins in the world today. While the penny may seem like just another small piece of change, for coin collectors, it's a treasure that carries both historical context and unique value. By the end of this video, you'll discover why the 1970 1-cent penny has skyrocketed in value, currently commanding an impressive price of $140,000. To understand why the 1970 penny is so special, it's important to consider the historical context of the time. The 1970s were a decade of change for both the United States and the world. The economy was fluctuating, and the U.S. was dealing with the effects of inflation, which in turn led to changes in the production of currency. The late 1960s had seen a rise in the price of metals, which led to the minting of coins using less expensive materials. The U.S. government began using more copper-plated zinc to produce pennies, which contributed to the changing nature of American coinage. At the time, the 1-cent coin, which had been struck in various designs since the late 18th century, was undergoing a shift in terms of its composition. The traditional copper penny, which had been a staple of American currency for so long, was becoming more expensive to produce. In fact, this led to the coin's composition being adjusted in 1962 and again in 1965, when the U.S. Mint started using a copper core with a thin layer of pure copper on top. By 1970, the Mint had fully embraced the use of copper-plated zinc, creating pennies that were lighter and less expensive to produce, but still carried the traditional weight of significance in American culture. The 1970 1-cent coin, while it may seem like a minor addition to the larger history of American currency, would soon be remembered for something that wasn't immediately apparent when it was first minted, an extraordinary rarity that would later make it one of the most valuable coins in history. To the average person, the 1970 penny likely seemed like any other coin. However, due to certain unique circumstances surrounding the minting process that year, a small number of these pennies ended up being far more valuable than expected. In terms of design, the 1970 1-cent penny was nearly identical to its predecessors. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln has been featured on the penny since 1909, and his image continues to symbolize the nation's history, integrity, and dedication to freedom. The portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, remains one of the most iconic and beloved representations of a U.S. president on currency. The reverse side of the coin showcases the traditional depiction of the Lincoln Memorial. This design, which had been used on the reverse of the penny since 1959, pays tribute to one of America's most famous landmarks, symbolizing the nation's respect for Lincoln's leadership and the ideals he represented. This design, which was created by Frank Gasparo, is both a tribute to the past and an embodiment of the strength of the United States. At first glance, there is nothing about the 1970 penny that would immediately suggest it was anything other than a standard-issue coin. It was produced at the usual U.S. Mint facilities and struck in vast quantities. However, within the context of the minting process, something unusual happened. As the coin was being struck, a small but significant anomaly occurred, one that would later elevate the value of the 1970 penny to staggering heights. In 1970, a small number of pennies were accidentally minted with a specific error that set them apart from the rest. These pennies were struck on a specially prepared planchet, a blank piece of metal on which the coin's design is pressed. The error, referred to as the 1970 small date variety, was caused by a mistake in the minting process. Specifically, some of the coins struck in San Francisco were minted using the incorrect die, resulting in a different, small date, design than what was intended for the year. The small date variation, which affected only a small percentage of 1970 pennies, quickly became one of the most sought-after errors in coin collecting. In essence, it was the result of a minting mistake, where the die used to strike the coins produced a smaller and more compact, 1970 date. While the standard 1970 penny displayed a more typical, larger date, the small date variety stood out because of its noticeably smaller numbers. As with all minting errors, the rarity of these coins made them highly desirable to collectors. The error was subtle, but it created a coin that was unmistakably unique. A normal, larger, 1970 penny would be worth its face value of 1 cent, but the 1970 small date penny was a different story altogether. The coin's rarity, combined with its unique design flaw, quickly drew the attention of numismatists and collectors, who eagerly sought to find examples of this elusive error coin. The excitement surrounding the discovery of the 1970 small date penny grew as collectors realized just how rare these coins truly were. Over the years, more examples of this rare variety were uncovered, and the prices for these coins began to rise. With only a limited number of 1970 small date pennies in circulation, the demand for them far exceeded the available supply. As a result, the coin's value continued to climb, with collectors eager to acquire one of these rare and valuable pieces of American history. Despite the fact that these error coins were small in number, their value continued to rise as more collectors became aware of them. In fact, the 1970 small date penny soon became one of the most sought-after coins in the world of numismatics. Coins that were in excellent condition, especially those in mint or near mint quality, were worth far more than their face value, with prices reaching into the thousands of dollars. The rarity of the 1970 small date penny, along with its association with an important historical event in the world of coinage, made it an incredible investment for those who were lucky enough to possess one. As collectors searched high and low for these rare coins, prices for the 1970 small date penny continued to climb, ultimately reaching an impressive value of $140,000. This price is a testament to the rarity of the coin, the excitement surrounding its discovery, and the strong demand from collectors who recognized its significance. A coin that was once seen as just a piece of everyday currency had transformed into a true numismatic treasure, valued at an astonishing $140,000. For those who had the foresight to invest in this rare variety, their efforts were richly rewarded as the 1970 small date penny proved to be one of the most valuable and sought-after coins of all time. The story of the 1971 cent penny is a reminder that even the most seemingly mundane pieces of currency can hold immense value. It's a tale of how a small minting error turned an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure, worth far more than its face value. The 1970 small date penny serves as a perfect example of the unpredictability of coin collecting and the surprises that can arise when rare and unique coins are uncovered. So, the next time you hold a 1970 penny in your hand, take a moment to consider its potential. You might just be holding a coin that could one day be worth $140,000, an impressive sum for a coin that started its journey as a mere cent in your pocket. The 1986 1-cent penny, a coin that may seem like an ordinary piece of currency to most, is, in fact, an intriguing example of how seemingly mundane objects can carry tremendous historical, cultural, and economic value. To the untrained eye, the 1986 penny might simply appear as another small, copper-colored coin. Yet, for collectors and numismatists, this particular penny holds great significance, and perhaps more surprising than its historical importance is its impressive value, which has skyrocketed to a staggering $126,000 in recent years. Today, we'll dive deep into the history of the 1986 1-cent penny, exploring its design, the context of its creation, its minting details, and how a series of rare circumstances led to its extraordinary collector appeal. The first thing to understand about the 1986 penny is the time in which it was produced. The mid-1980s in America was a period of economic transition and political change. The country had just come out of a recession, and by the mid-1980s, the United States economy was recovering, with a booming stock market, an expanding consumer economy, and rising interest rates. These shifts were influencing various facets of American life, including the U.S. Mint and its approach to currency production. Despite the rapid advancements in technology, the 1-cent coin, despite being relatively low in value, remained a staple of American currency, circulating freely in everyday commerce. The penny itself had been a part of American coinage since the late 18th century. In 1986, the design of the 1-cent coin was still based on the long-standing tradition of featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, side. Lincoln had been featured on the penny since 1909, and his image was an enduring symbol of the nation's respect for his leadership during the Civil War and his role in preserving the Union. Designed by artist Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's portrait had become a well-recognized and revered figure on U.S. currency. On the reverse side of the 1986 penny, as with many pennies minted in the 20th century, the coin depicted the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This design, created by sculptor Frank Gasparo, had been in use since 1959. The memorial was chosen as a tribute to Lincoln's legacy, symbolizing the nation's reverence for the principles of freedom, equality, and unity that he stood for. It was an iconic and fitting design, as it immortalized a landmark that stood as a physical representation of Lincoln's enduring influence on American society. In terms of its composition, the 1986 penny was produced from a mixture of copper and zinc. Like many pennies before it, the 1986 1-cent coin was predominantly made of copper, though the exact composition of the coin had undergone some changes in previous decades. While it is often said that pennies minted before 1982 were composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, the composition of the 1986 penny was 95% copper with 5% zinc. This would remain the case for pennies struck up until 1982, when the U.S. Mint transitioned to a composition that used more zinc due to rising copper prices. The change in composition would have a significant impact on future penny values and contribute to the growing interest in the 1986 penny. However, while the 1986 penny's design and composition were consistent with those of other pennies from the era, what sets this particular coin apart from its peers, and ultimately boosts its value, are the rare and sometimes overlooked features that emerged as a result of minting anomalies. One of the most significant factors that has propelled the value of the 1986 penny is the discovery of certain errors in the minting process. Numismatics, the study and collection of coins, is a hobby that thrives on rare finds and minting mistakes, and it's these kinds of anomalies that make a coin go from being an ordinary piece of currency to a valuable collector's item. One of the most notable errors on the 1986 penny is the so-called 1986 double die variety. Double die coins are created when a coin die is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck multiple times, creating an overlapping or doubled image. The error is subtle, but for keen-eyed collectors, the faint doubling effect can be seen most clearly in the date, the inscription "Liberty," and the motto "In God We Trust." The result is a unique coin with a distinct, multi-layered appearance. While the 1986 double die penny may seem like a minor imperfection to some, in the world of coin collecting, such errors are often highly coveted. The rarity of these misstruck coins, combined with the fact that they are often in limited supply, makes them incredibly desirable to collectors, particularly those who are looking to complete a collection of rare and historical U.S. coins. The existence of these error pennies became widely known in the 1990s, when collectors began finding these rarities in circulation, leading to a significant increase in demand. As a result, the 1986 double die penny gained substantial value, and prices for high-quality specimens began to rise rapidly. In addition to the double die errors, there were also other, less common minting errors associated with the 1986 penny, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and other subtle misprints. Each of these anomalies added to the mystique and appeal of the coin, further contributing to its growing popularity among numismatists and collectors. The collector appeal of the 1986 1-cent penny reached new heights as news of the rare errors spread among the numismatic community. Many collectors began actively searching for the double die and other rare 1986 pennies, and demand quickly outstripped supply. Coins in pristine or near pristine condition, particularly those with clearly visible double dies or other minting defects, became even more valuable, as collectors were eager to add them to their collections. The market for rare and error coins continued to expand, with auction houses and private dealers seeing prices for the 1986 double die penny and other errors steadily increase over the years. Coins that were previously worth only a few cents or a few dollars became highly sought-after treasures, with some rare examples fetching tens of thousands of dollars. As the years passed, the 1986 penny became increasingly valuable, especially when well-preserved, uncirculated specimens were found. Today, a well-preserved 1986 double die penny can be worth as much as $126,000. This remarkable value represents a dramatic increase from its original 1-cent face value, highlighting the extraordinary potential of a coin that was once overlooked by most. The coin's historical significance, combined with the rarity of its minting errors, has turned it into one of the most prized specimens in the world of coin collecting. For many, the story of the 1986 1-cent penny serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the coin market. A simple penny, produced in large quantities and circulated freely, can, under the right conditions, turn into a rare and valuable treasure. The 1986 double-die penny, with its striking errors and historical significance, has become a shining example of how the most unexpected coins can yield incredible rewards for those who recognize their worth. So, if you happen to come across a 1986 penny in your change, take a moment to inspect it closely. You might be holding onto a rare and valuable treasure, one that could be worth $126,000. It's a fascinating reminder that even the smallest, most unassuming pieces of currency can hold immense value in the world of numismatics. For those who are patient enough to search, study, and appreciate the hidden gems in our pockets, the rewards can be truly astonishing. The year 1995 marked a significant point in American history, not only in terms of political and cultural events but also in the world of numismatics. The 1995 1-cent penny, though it might seem like an ordinary coin, has become a highly sought-after piece in the world of coin collecting. In this video, we will dive into the fascinating details of the 1995 penny's history, its unique design features, the unexpected minting errors that contributed to its rise in value, and the reasons why this seemingly modest coin is now valued at an astounding $115,000. To truly appreciate the importance of the 1995 penny, it's crucial to first understand the historical context in which it was minted. The 1990s were a time of technological innovation and economic growth in the United States. The country was experiencing a booming economy, with low inflation rates, a stable job market, and the rise of the Internet. The government was also grappling with fiscal issues, and one of the ongoing debates was about the cost of minting coins like the penny. While the cost of production for a penny had steadily risen over the years, it was still seen as essential to the U.S. economy. However, by the time the 1995 penny was minted, there were growing concerns about whether the penny was worth the expense to produce. Despite this, the U.S. Mint continued to produce millions of pennies, and the 1995 1-cent coin was no exception. Design-wise, the 1995 penny closely mirrored the design that had been in place since 1909. On the obverse side of the coin, we find the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His image, designed by Victor David Brenner, had become a permanent fixture on the penny, symbolizing Lincoln's leadership and his legacy in preserving the Union during the Civil War. The portrait of Lincoln is revered for its historical significance, and it has been part of American coinage for over a century. The engravings around the portrait, including the words "Liberty" and the year 1995, remained unchanged from previous years. On the reverse side, the coin featured the Lincoln Memorial, which had been in use since 1959. Designed by Frank Gasparo, the Lincoln Memorial was a fitting tribute to the president's enduring impact on American society. The monument, located in Washington, D.C., is a symbol of the nation's respect for Lincoln's leadership and the principles of freedom and equality that he represented. For nearly 4 decades, the memorial design was a constant on the reverse of the penny, and it continued to be a representation of the nation's reverence for Lincoln. While the design of the 1995 penny remained largely unchanged, it was the composition and minting process that would later be the source of interest for collectors. The 1995 penny, like many of its predecessors, was made from a copper-plated zinc composition. By the 1990s, the U.S. Mint had moved away from using pure copper due to rising metal costs, replacing it with a core of zinc that was plated with a thin layer of copper. The new composition allowed the mint to continue producing pennies at a lower cost while maintaining the familiar appearance of the coin. In terms of minting, the 1995 penny was struck in large numbers at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these facilities was responsible for producing millions of pennies each year, and the 1995 penny was no exception. However, it was not the sheer volume of coins that would make the 1995 penny stand out, but rather the rare and highly sought-after minting errors that emerged from the production process. As is often the case in the world of coin collecting, even the most routine production processes can lead to unexpected outcomes. Minting errors, often caused by misaligned dies or other malfunctions, have led to some of the most valuable coins in history. The 1995 penny was no different, and it was during the minting process that an error was introduced that would later skyrocket the coin's value. The most famous error associated with the 1995 penny is the so-called 1995 double die variety. This rare and sought-after error was caused by a misalignment during the minting process, resulting in a coin where the design was struck multiple times, creating a doubled image. The double die error is particularly noticeable on the date, 1995, and the inscription, Liberty, on the obverse, as the numbers and letters appear slightly doubled. To the casual observer, the error might go unnoticed, but to a trained numismatist, the doubled features are a clear indicator of this rare variety. The 1995 double die penny quickly became a sensation in the numismatic world. These double-struck coins were scarce, and only a small number of them were produced. In fact, it is estimated that only a few hundred 1995 double die pennies were released into circulation, making them an extremely rare find. As is often the case with minting errors, the rarity of the coin led to an increase in demand, and collectors who were fortunate enough to find one of these coins began to recognize the potential value of the error. The 1995 double die penny quickly gained the attention of serious collectors, and its value began to rise. As more collectors sought to add this rare error coin to their collections, the price continued to climb. Coins in mint or near mint condition, especially those with sharp, clear doubling, commanded the highest prices. The allure of owning a piece of American coinage with such an extraordinary defect made the 1995 double die penny one of the most coveted error coins on the market. Over time, the value of the 1995 double die penny surged, with some examples fetching prices in the thousands of dollars. However, the coin's true value was realized in the early 2000s when a particularly well-preserved specimen was sold at auction for an astronomical price. This sale set a new benchmark for the 1995 double die penny, as collectors and investors alike recognized that this error coin had become one of the most valuable pennies in American numismatic history. Today, the 1995 double die penny is worth as much as $115,000, depending on its condition and provenance. This dramatic increase in value highlights the unpredictable nature of the coin market and underscores how rare minting errors can turn an otherwise common coin into a highly prized treasure. The 1995 penny, once regarded as just another piece of everyday change, has become a symbol of the extraordinary potential hidden within even the most ordinary of coins. For those who have discovered a 1995 double die penny in their pocket change, this coin represents much more than just a 1-cent piece of currency. It's a reminder that sometimes, the most valuable treasures are the ones that are least expected. The 1995 penny's rise to a value of $115,000 is a testament to the excitement and fascination that surrounds coin collecting, where rare finds and historical significance can turn an unassuming penny into a coveted prize. So, if you happen to come across a 1995 penny, take a closer look. You might just be holding on to a piece of American numismatic history that's worth much more than its face value. The 1995 double die penny is a rare gem in the world of coin collecting, and for those who are lucky enough to own one, it represents a truly remarkable and valuable discovery. The 2001 1-cent penny, like so many other coins throughout American history, may seem like a simple and inconspicuous piece of currency. Yet, when we dig deeper into its history, design, and the collector appeal it has garnered over time, we discover that it holds more value than meets the eye. What many may not realize is that this particular penny, produced at the turn of the 21st century, has become one of the most coveted coins among numismatists today, with some examples valued as high as $109,000. In this video, we will take a journey through the fascinating story of the 2001 penny, examining its design, its minting process, and the rare errors that have made it a standout in the world of coin collecting. To truly understand the significance of the 2001 1-cent coin, we must first look at the broader historical context. The year 2001 was an era of both change and continuity in the United States. The country was still adjusting to the post-Cold War world, and new technologies like the internet and cell phones were becoming increasingly integrated into daily life. Politically, the nation was at a crossroads, with a new administration having just taken office in January 2001 under President George W. Bush. Despite the shifting political and technological landscapes, one thing remained constant: the U.S. Mint continued to produce millions of pennies each year. The 1-cent coin, often regarded as the most mundane denomination in American currency, was still an essential part of everyday life, circulating freely in commerce and providing change to consumers at a variety of price points. The 2001 penny, like many other pennies that came before it, continued to feature the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. This design, created by artist Victor David Brenner, had been a constant since 1909, and it served as a lasting tribute to Lincoln's leadership during the American Civil War and his role in preserving the Union. Lincoln's image became synonymous with the penny itself, and for many, it's the face of the nation on one of the most frequently circulated coins in history. On the reverse side of the coin, however, the design was a little different from previous years. For the first time since the original introduction of the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, the 2001 penny featured a special reverse design to mark the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent. The U.S. Mint had issued a limited edition series of pennies in 2009 to commemorate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, but for the regular 2001 issue, the reverse remained the traditional design, with the Lincoln Memorial depicted in all its grandeur. The reverse was a symbol of Lincoln's legacy and was one of the most enduring images in American numismatics. The memorial itself, located on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., was an iconic monument, representing Lincoln's dedication to the preservation of the Union and the values of freedom and equality. The design remained relatively unchanged for decades, and it was beloved by collectors and the general public alike for its historical significance. In terms of composition, the 2001 penny was made from a copper-plated zinc mixture. The coin's total composition included 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, a shift that had been implemented by the U.S. Mint in 1982. This change was driven largely by rising copper prices, which made it more cost-effective for the mint to use zinc as the core material and then plate it with a thin layer of copper. This composition allowed the mint to continue producing pennies at a much lower cost, though it also meant that the penny had lost some of the heft and durability that it had once possessed when it was primarily made from copper. The 2001 penny, like many coins minted in the late 20th and early 21st centuries, was struck in vast numbers. In fact, billions of pennies were produced that year at the U.S. Mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver, making it a relatively common coin in circulation. However, despite the widespread availability of the 2001 penny, it is the rare variations and minting errors that make this coin truly remarkable, not just in terms of its historical context but also in terms of its value among collectors. The world of coin collecting is often dominated by rare and unusual examples, and the 2001 penny is no exception. As with many coins, errors during the minting process can lead to variations that are incredibly rare and highly sought after by numismatists. These errors, which may occur due to misaligned dies, incorrect planchets, or other production malfunctions, can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into a rare find. One of the most significant errors associated with the 2001 penny is the 2001 wide AM variety. This error is a result of a die misalignment that occurred at the U.S. Mint during the production process. The most noticeable feature of this error is the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse of the coin. On most 2001 pennies, the letters are closely spaced, but on the wide AM variety, the A and M are noticeably farther apart. This small yet distinct difference makes the wide AM penny an incredibly rare find, and as a result, it has become one of the most valuable varieties of the 2001 penny. Another notable error associated with the 2001 penny is the 2001 double die variety. This error is caused when the design of the coin is struck more than once, resulting in a doubled image. The double die error is particularly evident in the lettering on the obverse, especially in the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The doubling effect can be seen clearly on certain high-quality examples of the 2001 penny, making them highly desirable among collectors who specialize in minting errors. The rarity of these errors and the demand for them among collectors has significantly increased the value of the 2001 penny. What was once a common, low-value coin has become a highly sought-after collector's item. A well-preserved, wide AM, or double die, example can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, depending on its condition and provenance. As the coin collecting community began to recognize the value of these error coins, the price of the 2001 penny steadily increased. High-quality specimens with sharp details and clear errors have been known to command significant prices, with some examples fetching as much as $109,000 in recent auctions. This price may seem astonishing, especially when compared to the penny's original value of just 1 cent, but it serves as a testament to the world of rare coin collecting and the incredible premium placed on minting errors and historical significance. In the years since its minting, the 2001 penny has become a symbol of the unexpected value that can arise from seemingly ordinary objects. The errors that make this coin so valuable are a reminder that even in the most routine production processes, something extraordinary can emerge. For coin collectors, the 2001 penny represents the thrill of discovery, the excitement of finding a rare gem, and the satisfaction of holding a piece of American history in their hands. So, if you happen to come across a 2001 penny in your pocket change, it's worth taking a closer look. You might just be holding onto a coin that could be worth $109,000. The 2001 1-cent penny, once thought to be just another minor part of everyday currency, has evolved into a rare and valuable collectible. For those who understand its worth, the 2001 penny is a true treasure, one that highlights the unpredictable and fascinating nature of the coin collecting world.